All right. Good day, traders. Welcome to today's session. Uh, the members who are still joining us, however, we are requesting to start. Our coach will also be joining us shortly. He will be able to take us through the second part of this presentation. So this meeting is also in recording so that whoever comes late should be able to still benefit from this recording in case they're not able to join us from the start. So once again, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this session. Thank you for joining, and hopefully this will be beneficial to you even as you trade. So you might have come across this, but I think and I believe that every time we cover this topic, and now that you're practicing, you're trading every day, it makes sense every single time, and it will just reinforce and help with your practice and your trade as you keep taking your trades day by day. So it's very important that you understand what we mean by saying your trading zones, especially when you're going to be taking trades. It will help you to understand the structure of the market as well as to understand when to slow down because either the market is about to turn or the market is consolidating. It will help you to make decisions because more often than not, using the strategy that we are deploying every day, we say that you trade what you see. You trade what you see. And the zones will help you to mark the areas that you're supposed to be trading in. So in particular, today we are going to revisit support and resistance and the trend lines. And later on, I will show you on the charts how these important zones work and how you can use them in your daily trading. Especially today, those of you who are trading Euro USD, you notice that the market was not moving a lot, but it was, if you are very keen and you drew your support and resistance zones well and trend lines, you will have noticed that it was following a particular line. And if you had marked your market entries properly and you had your structures, there are still opportunities to place your trades. So placing your trades cautiously, following the zones. So we'll go into today's example using a Euro USD, that is the currency that I was trading today, and also just indicating how those zones were applied. And then later on, we'll look at two very interesting trend lines that have been happening to the Euro USD, and probably Coach will take it a step further. When you see some of these things, sometimes we talk about a triangle, pennant, we talk about a rising wedge. What do they mean? What are you supposed to do when you see such kind of things forming in your charts? So you need to have a little bit of understanding on chart patterns as well, because they either indicate for you that there's going to be a continuation or the market is going to turn. So those are some of the things that you need to start adding to your repertoire of skills, of your trading skills, so that you become a successful trader. All right. So, like I said, we're going to talk about three key phrases when we talk about your zones. That is support, resistance, and then trend lines. Like they say, support, if you look at like a building, support is what helps you to, gives you the base on which to stand or to build something. So even in the charts, the support is where if the prices are falling and going down, this is most of the place when the prices hit, the market comes, it bounces and usually goes back up. It provides what they call support, just like the English meaning of support is. So for the market and the prices, most of the time when they reach this zone, they usually tend to respect. And when they get there, they turn and go back up if they were going down. On the other hand, resistance is like the roof of a house. So can you imagine if you're bouncing a ball and then it hits the ceiling, chances are it will come back home. So it's the same thing with resistance when you're talking about trading. So most of the time, the market respects these two zones, support and resistance. Sometimes it breaks a little, but most of the time you'll find that it respects those zones. And then trend lines are also important because they indicate to you the direction that the market is taking. Most of the time, it will either be an uptrend or a downtrend. An uptrend, if you see an uptrend that the market is going up, then mostly you'll be doing buys. On the other hand, if you see a downtrend that the market is going down, then most of the time you'll be doing sales. So let's look at some examples that I took from today's chart. So as you can see, this chart of mine, the one that I've marked with green, this is a support zone. This is a support zone. So as you can see, the market has just been playing around here, not going very far. It comes, let me use a pen. It basically just dances around here. It doesn't break it. So every time the market comes, it hits this zone, it will always go back up. So if you had marked here and you are trading, if you're a cautious trader, then most of the time you'll stay away because here the market is still not decided whether to go back up or to break down. So you wait until you see telltale signs if you want to be really careful and you want to wait for the direction, you wait for it to bounce back. So in this particular case, it bounced back and now it allows you to start entering your buys. So when you see a support zone and the market has respected it going up, then you enter buy orders and it will give you opportunity. So when you're entering buys, like we had said before, the market will always give you opportunities to trade. So this market is going up. So as you can see here, let me mark with a different color. This becomes your first opportunity because the market showed that it was retracing a bit. So this becomes, in terms of your trade setup, because you have seen that now this thing is respecting the support zone and is going up, this becomes the first area you enter your first buy orders. So depending on the margin and the capital that you have, you place a third of the number of trades that you can possibly take. So if your capital allows you to take, let's say 100 trades, then probably here you'll take about 20 or 30 and then you wait. So when the market goes up, you'll take profit. Then you wait for the second setup, which is right here. You see this when the market was trying to retrace. This will become your second one. Because the market is still going up, you place again buy orders every time it tries to retrace. When it goes up, you take profit. And then now, and this is where I'm saying that you need to also start learning the chart patterns. You see here that there's a little consolidation. So here you can wait. But because you know that the market is generally going up, you wait for it to retrace a little. As you can see, the opportunity presented itself again here. So around here, you'll place again another batch of buy order. So these are 3 setups. And then when it goes up, you take profit. So that is the support zone. It means that the market came, respected it, it bounced, and it always goes back up. You need to be practicing on how to set up your support zones and then you backtest when the market is quiet, especially on Saturday, on Sunday, when there's no trading. Set up your support zones and then just backtest, and you'll always see that it respects those zones. It always respects those zones. And when you master how to mark the support zone and the resistance zones and the trend lines, then half your work is done. The rest will just be clicking and placing the orders. All right. So that is support. Likewise, resistance is the opposite. So what happens, like if you look at my green lines here, they present resistance zones. So these are two resistance zones. So the first one, the market came, it broke a little, it went all the way to this high here, and then it came down. It's almost like it was testing something, and then it retested. So it's just been playing around here. If you notice on the Euro USD, this is I think the 1.87 something. This is one of the strong resistance that we have, that the market is always tending to respect this particular zone. So it always comes up, and then most of the time it acts like a real ceiling, like when you're bouncing a ball, it comes here and always tends to respect it. So every time the market is around the resistance zones, then it gives you sell opportunities, because you know that most of the time it will come back down and then you take your profits. It will come back down and then you take your profits. At the same time, and that is actually mostly what was happening today, in addition to this support and resistance, it's also important to understand trend lines. And today early in the morning, there's a trend line that has been forming that, if you're keen, has been approaching almost like it's making a wedge. So there's the uptrend that is going, the market has tended to be going up, but if you look closely, a wedge is forming on the Euro USD, in that the highs are getting lower and the lows, so that at a particular point in time, the market seems like it's going to meet somewhere here. And then from here, most of the time, based on the chart patterns that Coach will touch later on in our class today, something always tends to happen. That if this was a downtrend and you see this triangle, most of the time it will be a continuation, that it will continue down. But sometimes, the market has its own way of, behaving. It may decide to go back up. But now when you see things like this, these are the things that give you an indication that you need to slow down and wait for the market to, make up its mind before you increase your activity. So here you trade cautiously. You trade cautiously. Especially today, if you are trading, you'll have noticed that the market was playing around a very small area. It's because it was respecting these zones. So you can see here there's this support zone, but more importantly, there's this trend line, and then there's another one here. So the market was just playing around here today, and I'll show you actually in the charts even right now that is exactly what is still happening. So allow me to take you to the charts, and then I will give Coach the opportunity to say something, and then we will open it up for questions and answer. All right, I believe you can see my screen. So this is a Euro USD, the 1 hour chart. I've basically just marked my support, resistance zones, and the trend line that I was talking to you about. I went as far back as this is September 23rd. As you can see, this market has almost tended to obey this trend line. So it's been going up, albeit slowly, but it's been going up. And as you can see, it's respecting this particular blue trend line that you're seeing here. At the same time, the market is also respecting the support zone and the resistance that I have marked. So as you can see, you can almost guess when you are taking trades from here, the yellow line that I've just marked, this is 2nd of October. As you can see, if you are trading here, and you know, this was on the 2nd, if you are trying to trade here and you're taking sales because the market is going down, then you start to be careful, because as you can see here, you're approaching a support zone, and there's also this line, this blue line here, that indicates that there's a very high likelihood that the market will not pass these two lines. So let's see what happens in this particular case. So it broke this support, but as you can see, as you have seen here, it came and touched this trend line, and then it bounced back up. So it danced a little on the support, it danced on the support, and then started going back up, up, up. You see? Now notice what happens on the other one. This is the upper, you know, trend line. So the market goes, it reaches there and then starts dancing again, respecting that zone, and you'll notice the way it will bounce back, and then it bounces back. You see? It bounces back right here, bounces back. Now it's coming down again. It goes down. Look at this trend line. So the market is respecting these two lines. So it's basically dancing between these two lines. And if you were taking your test today, you'll notice that that is exactly what was happening. Because now we are on today, this is 8th of October. From midnight. This is from midnight. And as you can see here, it came, it hit this point, and then it started coming down. From around 11 o'clock, after the London breakout, it started coming down, then it consolidated a little, came down again, and then at about 4 o'clock, just after 4 o'clock, when New York opened, it started going up again. So as you can see, it's just been dancing around these two zones. And if we can continue into the future, because now this is just a few minutes after 9 o'clock, and as you can see, it is still just dancing between these two zones. So even if you are trading now, after this class, if you are placing your orders in the Euro USD, you will not place your orders beyond these lines. You play cautiously, because this is the area that the market is going to be playing around. Later, Coach will touch something a little about when you see this wedge, and this was you know, there are some that are called rising wedge or a falling wedge, then the market is about to do something. So you take your trades cautiously, knowing that a turn is coming. A turn is coming soon. So you don't place all your orders, and then before you know it, the turn has come, and then now you're in trouble. All right. So I want to stop here and pass it over to Coach to continue with the second part of the class, and then we open it up for question and answer. Coach, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Thank you. I think I will go ahead and also share something that Ken has been talking about. Okay. Can you guys see that? Can you see the charts that I have there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Trying to. Ken, I'm not able to write on the board, or rather. All right, anyway, I'll just point at them. So I think what Ken was trying to give you a heads up about today is the fact that very often in the markets, we don't often, give you the alerts. But today it was so obvious. It was so obvious that the market was actually converging. It seemed to be forming a wedge, and hence there was going to be a predictable reaction. So that normally happens whenever the market is forming one of these patterns that you see over here. So at the bottom, not the bottom, but if you look at the first two, the reversal patterns, okay, there are two kinds of reversal patterns. There is the ones at the top, which means if we are at a resistance zone and the market is turning backwards, you will see something like this double top. Okay, very popular, very common. And sometimes you'll see one with the head and shoulders, again, very common as a reversal pattern. And then there is the last one, the rising wedge, again, very common. So whereas these three are very common on a point of resistance, which is on top, okay? If you go to the bottom, usually our support zone at the bottom, normally around there, you look out for reversal patterns that are almost the opposite of the ones on top. So this one you find is a double bottom. Okay, you look out for that at the bottom, or an inverse head and shoulder, again, or a falling wedge. Those are the common ones. However, in between, if we are not at the top, neither are we at the bottom, then you look for a continuation pattern. And the more common continuation patterns are the ones in the middle here, where we have a falling wedge, a bullish rectangle, okay, which is pretty much a breakout. I guess all these are all breakouts anyway. Bullish pennant, yeah. Then there's the rising wedge, bearish rectangle, and the bearish pennant. So again, these are very common in the middle, if they're forming in the middle of a chart, not at the bottom, the support, and not at the resistance. Okay, you have those common continuation patterns. Okay? Then we have the last bunch, which is called bilateral patterns, which could be like an ascending, because you're not very sure whether it's going to go up or down. You don't know. All you know is it starts off by forming something like a wedge. Okay, yet by the time the wedge is done forming, then it shoots up or shoots down because you're not too sure. Okay, again, we have some that are descending triangle. Okay, same thing. It can go up or down, and the last one, the symmetrical triangle. So we've shared these charts before, and we don't always point them out. But I'm glad Ken noticed the formations today and decided to share. Remember, we say that you use the 5 minutes to actually understand the structure. That is the point where you take the time, because the market is not moving very fast in the 5 minutes. You take time to understand what's going on, what's forming, what's forming, what kind of pattern is forming. And more often than not, you'll see something that is forming. So that's it. I think as regards questions, we'll make it open, for you guys to ask questions. And then I have a comment towards the end of the discussion. So let's open it now for questions. All right. If you have any questions, this is the time. All right. Nobody seems to have a question, which is fine. So it either means people are fine, people are so smart, they are understanding everything, or they're just completely lost. So I don't think it is the latter, because most of you have been trading and have been showing good results. So I'm happy. I'm happy to say that I think it's more because you understand, and maybe that's why there are no questions. Okay. The other matter that I want to throw as an open discussion, and generally you guys will have to decide on behalf of the rest of the people in the group. I've noticed that when we have our classes, our evening classes, that only the same people keep coming for the class. The same people. You can almost guess, how many came last week and how many are going to come, on a Tuesday class. The same people. Hence, making me believe that you are the diligent ones. In other words, you have seen value and you are definitely, going for it, extracting that value, which is good. And it is our honor and a pleasure to share that with you. However, I also noticed that sometimes we do a class like this and then we put the recording, on the YouTube. And then suddenly I check after a day or two, I see that, a good number of people, like, 50, 60 people have viewed that particular class, which makes me wonder whether people now prefer to be watching the YouTube instead of coming for the live class. To me, logic would say that in the live class, you have the opportunity to actually ask questions. Hence, it's probably better than just, getting it from the YouTube. But then again, people are different. I see either because of people's schedules or whatever, there seems to be a bigger crowd coming into the YouTube channel instead of the live class. And having put that statement there, then the question comes in. Do we need to continue having these live classes? Or should we just go ahead and continue recording classes and sharing them in YouTube? Hence, you get to just see the video on YouTube. Maybe that's the better question. And why do we say that? Well, it takes a little time and effort to prepare for these classes. And we even create the time, we dedicate the time to avail ourselves so that you can have a chance to ask questions, and then we can respond live. That really is the reason why we've been having these live classes. Therefore, if people seem to find more value on the recordings rather than the live classes, then it's okay. We are not under obligation to be having live classes. Okay? We can just continue doing recordings and upload them. Each time we record a class, we upload and we alert people in the forum. Then people can actually go there. So I guess what I'm asking is, do you guys want to continue having live classes, or is it okay for us to now just focus on the YouTube channel and WhatsApp, and maybe keep the live classes for maybe once in a while, once in a rare while, when something is absolutely important, something is burning, then we can have a live class. So I think I will put everybody on the spot. So you can just say, this will be more of a random check. So you can represent the others. So whatever you say, my assumption is you're speaking on behalf of those who are not here. All right? So I see some people are getting shy, so they're getting offline. All right. So I'll check. I'll start with Alex. Would you have recordings or what?
Coach, I think for me, sorry, am I clear? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, for me, I prefer the live training or discussions. I find them quite personal. I'm able to engage if I feel I don't understand anything, as opposed to going to YouTube where you get all clutter, everything. So I would rather be here, even if I'm quiet, but I know if there's something, I'll get it immediately. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks. Charles Abongo.
Yes, coach. I can get it.
Yes.
With me, I prefer the live classes. Recording are just for maybe revision.
Okay.
That's why the fact that we are attending the classes, which means our heart is here. So,
okay.
For me,
all right,
live
cool.
classes.
All right, thank you. All right, Julie.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Yeah, speak a little louder.
Okay. So maybe you can reduce the classes to one a week.
Can you louder, a little louder?
I'm saying the live classes are okay. Maybe if participants are not many, you can get to a week.
We can do what?
You can reduce it to once a week when need arises.
Oh, to once a week, yeah?
Yeah, when there's
all right. Okay. All right. Ndugu Jackson. I know you're part of us, but by the way, how are you feeling?
Hi, Coach. I'm feeling much better.
Much better, eh?
Feeling
so
maybe
it was not COVID.
I doubt. Yeah. All right. Otherwise, good evening, traders.
Good evening.
As coach has just alluded, I've not been actually trading this week. I've been down with some illness, and I'm recovering well. Now, personally, I think I find more value in the live classes more as compared to the YouTube classes, because in this platform we are able to share experiences. You know, everybody as we do our trading out there are things that you come to notice and you think this is working or this is not working, and this gives us an opportunity to share so that we learn from each other, and also we with the we flatten the learning curve. You know, it is the learning curve, because when different people, we are trading the same currency, and when we come together, we are able now to share what we have been able to see. Like now, what Ken today has just demonstrated. You know, that is something I'm sure you have taken that home, and it is something that you will not really labor so much in contextualizing, even if when you come along it in future. So, coach, personally, I think these classes are good. The few who are able to attend, let's give them the opportunity to do so, and let them also be proactive in also making contributions so that we can learn from each other. You know.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. There are two Patricks, so I'll just start with Patrick. With Patrick Maheli.
Hello, Coach.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
It's Maheli.
Yes, this is Patrick Maheli.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, for me, I find value in the live classes. I feel it's engaging. It's more practical, and you know, whenever I have a challenge, I can put it across other than going back to the YouTube recording. I find more value in it. YouTube, I just use it in reference. Case I didn't get something properly, the live class, then I can always refer to YouTube. But I find more value in live class.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Patrick Otieno. Hello, Patrick. We can't hear you. Okay, maybe, I think you're showing you're using a headphone. No, I don't know. Maybe your laptop is having some issues. All right, while you're sorting it out, let's talk to Phoebe. Phoebe, what's your take?
As for me, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yes, good evening.
As for me, I think live classes are better for me, and I enjoy them. Okay, I go back later to listen to the recordings, but I enjoy them, and I think also when I'm not able to get something, I'm able to at least talk to either you or Ken, and I've gotten help after after the discussion where I'm not able to get, I'm able to get the responses.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
I would still prefer the live classes.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, my brother Vincent.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can speak a little louder.
Okay. Yeah, for me, class supported all the way. But it gives an opportunity to address the challenges there and there. If you go to YouTube, sometimes you can see something, but then you have to wait and try to clarify that. But you can play it again and again, but it doesn't make sense. When somebody explains it class, I think it's much more. So I think for me, the class is important.
Okay. All right. I think there you have it, brothers and sisters. I think it's very clear that whereas I assumed that a number of people are preferring the YouTube, well, that might be the case, but still those who come on a regular basis still prefer the live class. So we are committed and we shall continue offering the classes. And if you've noticed in the last couple of weeks, we're trying to also expand our builder capacity so that it's not just me who is supporting, but I'm reaching out to people on individual basis so that we form a fraternity. We form this traders group, for lack of a better word, so that we can grow with each other, we can sharpen one another, you know. And for many of you, because I think you're serious, even when you start trading live, you know, with real money, you know, you'll still want to be close and in touch with certain people. And this is a good place. This is a good, safe environment. We have made it safe where we can actually build those friendships beyond our, you know, class. So thank you for sharing and having confidence in what we are doing, and we commit to providing the same even as we need. Okay, I think our time is up, so we'll call this a night. If there's anything else, we can continue discussion on the channel. Big time picture, the long term picture is as soon as we are able to hit, for those who are doing the doubling challenge, as soon as we are able to hit at least 3 quarters, I was hoping 1,500, okay, or 1,700. Then those of you who want to put real money in trading, we can start having that discussion so that then we see how we shall guide you or support you in that venture. Okay? So have a good night, and we will talk to you on Tuesday. Kwaherini.